Hello and good afternoon. Hi there. How are you all doing today? Today we're testing out Restream. So we're trying to stream both to Twitch and to YouTube at the same time. Now that we're allowed to do that. I feel like my camera's slightly laggy, but it's also a little bit hard to tell. Also, I feel like I'm a little sparkly too. I should fix that. Yeah, I'm definitely a little sparkly. Okay, let's nope, not that direction. That direction. There we go, that's better. So it does look like I've got the stream set up on YouTube. I see that it's working. Interestingly enough, the studio page for YouTube is showing that I'm not actually connected and nothing's happening whatsoever. That's cool, but when I go to my page, I can actually see that it's live. So that's also cool. Good job, YouTube. Also, YouTube is working. Okay, thank you. Thank you for that. I've got all the different chats open. So theoretically, I should see it. I've got Restream chat up there. I've got Twitch chat and YouTube chat over, well, and Discord chat over here. And then I've got also YouTube chat over here again, just in case Restream isn't working. So I'll figure out like good places to like put them all, and we'll deal with that later. Also, I couldn't do getting ready music because the music I have right now is Twitch only, and it does get caught for YouTube. So I can't use that now for getting started. So that's fun. All right, so everybody who, let's see, we're working on today. We're continuing to work on our data table. So let's see. Oh, yeah. Eventually I'll need a bot to dump the YouTube chat into Twitch. Yeah, eventually we'll need to do that. There's a lot of ways we can do it. We could either write our own, which I don't have time for, or we'll find one and just do something like that. Also, I think Restream supposedly has that abilities too, so I could probably just configure them. So eventually I can set that up. Right now, I just created the account like right before. Let's see. I created the account right before streaming, and then I haven't touched it at all. But like, as far as I can tell, everything seems okay. But yeah, okay. The Restream bot does it. Okay, so we'll have to figure that out. Okay, so oh yeah, the other thing. So for the course, we had somebody who was attempting to log in on their iPhone and couldn't get it this morning. Couldn't actually load the LMS at all, and I got an error on Sentry for every single time they tried it with every single browser. It seems to be something with the Safari WebKit sort of core engine, which is unfortunate because that means that every browser on iOS won't work. Because, well, and it's only for them too, because I tried it on my phone and it worked, and I think some other people tried it on their phone and they were able to get in. So I think it's like a very specific version, or if you're in a very specific location, or if like there's something that happens when it's trying to download the WebAssembly files or any other files, it kicks out this really weird, like very generic, yeah, can't do it error, and that's it. And that kind of sucks. So if any of you run into issues like trying to go into the LMS or trying to do anything else on one of our projects and nothing works, you just get like a white or black screen. I wonder if like just let me know in one of the many channels and we'll take a look into it. But that's always a fun time. Okay, so let's continue on with our devs here. So right now we have search working. So kind of working. I can search for things, although it's capitalizations only. So like if I type like R, nothing shows up, but capital R and Rust shows up here. So that's good, but we need to work with capitalizations. And then I also need to work with numbers here, which is going to be interesting for how we're going to deal with that. I'm not completely sure right now. I was kind of hoping that the attribute value would sort of like handle that for me. And maybe it will. Maybe it will. Or maybe I could convert it to a stir and then compare those. Oh, that could be interesting. So let's jump back into our code. So let's see. First of all, when we're doing our search, okay, so value contains, the value is, why am I not getting help? Because there's errors everywhere. Because I did something bad. I deleted a character right before I ended. That's fun. Okay, so oh, it's this log. I deleted the log and it's these things together. That's what it was. Okay. Now, can I do contains? Okay, so value is, I wonder if I could do, returns true if the given pattern matches the subsize of this string size. So it's basically an as stir. But we would think that then that would work. Okay, let's play around with this log. So I want my value. Let's see. Got a report that the course is available for free accidentally. That's not what I want. Let's try double check it. I can't see that. So let's see. I don't see access as. I wonder if it's the other course. Nope, that one's not available. I wonder if I need to log in as a test user. Okay, so logged in as our test learner. You don't have access to this. I can preview it, but I can't see anything. And I can open the course here, but I think I gave access to learner so it can play around with it. Oh. Oh, I think they mean the book. As free book created by the Rust team. Yeah, that's not mine. I wish I could write something like as much of that. That would be awesome. Okay, so if I get value as stir, okay, so we have value as stir. Let's see what we get out of here. And where are you? You're here. Okay, so as I search for something, so I get oh, interesting. I just have Yew Rust and Axum. This we don't see at all. Okay, that would be why I can't search it. Okay, so we'll fix the capitalizations part first. So value, can I do asterisk to lowercase contains search text asterisk to lowercase. Ooh, expected FM mute. Do I need to clone you just to do that? Oh, wait. To lowercase doesn't give me what I think it does it? Hold on. So I think that I can get rid of, if I promise that the search that's sent out is always to lowercase, then that solves this issue. So we'll do a little bit of test-driven development, manual test-driven development here. Simon, hello. You should code, but instead you're watching me. Well, thank you. I think. Also, I'm gonna encourage code, especially if it's for learning. Let's see if I can rearrange this. You go, come on. You go over here. Okay, maybe I'll be able to see that easier. Also, Simon, how's your day going? Besides, not coding. All right, so if I type R, ooh, right, that works now. But if I type R, that doesn't work. So I want to go to the input element, and on not on input, because this should probably not always, I think this should be the title element. When it emits out on search, so we get the search text, but what I emit out is going to be lowercase. So set search text set input, emit out. Ooh. Lowered case. Input search text. Aster to lowercase. That makes it a string, and then I want to make this an attribute value. Okay, so that should make it always lowercase, whatever. Wait, where? Every once in a while, I feel that Rust Analyzer does this to me, where it starts like cutting things off when it's trying to replace stuff, which is not fun. It's all good, thanks. How am I doing? So this is a Yew project? Yeah, so this is a Yew 0.20.0 project. I haven't updated to 0.20.1 yet. I don't know how much different it is. I know that there's some breaking changes to it, but I'm not sure what that is. I haven't looked yet. But yeah, this is these are function components. They're very similar to React function components. I'm not using I don't use effect very often in here, but there's a lot of use hooks. So for example, you can see like a use state up here. I can create callback functions that are going to run in a browser here, and then I'm doing a sort of like a emission pattern. I'm not really sure what the right pattern for this is, like what the official name of it is, but basically I emit out what happens, and then something else can, in this case, required to listen to that, but I can make it optional. Okay, so we've got you. So now you should work. I should be able to say Rust and Rust. Yeah, okay, that works. Ooh, when I go backwards, that doesn't, ooh. That's weird. That's not what I want. What are my thoughts on HTMX? So I haven't tried it, so I'm a little bit biased because all I've seen are just like the memes of people putting in like, look, you can do SQL in your HTML, and it's like, what? Now, the other thing is that I'm old enough that I come back from the days where when I started web dev, I was writing SQL in HTML in PHP. And it was a nightmare. Like literally, it was horrible. So just the idea of doing that again brings up lots of memories of like, how can this possibly be better than what we've done? Isn't this a step backwards? Now, I thought about the same thing with like JSX and CSS inside of like components as well. So maybe I'll be, you know, I have an open mind to like being proven wrong. But I'm gonna need to play with it and like really check it out for a while before I like can like say, yeah, I like this, or here's how I would do it. It's like slightly different, or I'm gonna change the pattern around slightly. I don't know. I'll have to figure. I'm gonna have to like wait a little bit on it. What are your all thoughts on it? Has anybody tried it? And oh, you know what? I should check if I backspace. Is backspace not an input? Is that why it doesn't? I don't get it. So this is on search on input. What are you upset about? Oh, no macro. Okay, let's see. So if I type in like Rust, we get RUST. Okay, so that makes sense. Now if I backspace, okay, so RUS, RU, R, and then empty string. Okay, okay. So that part is working. And then if I type in, ooh, so then that doesn't go away. So what, how do I do this? So we search text set whatever you are. I then search text. Okay, so I get, oh, I probably want this to be input search text. That's probably what I want. You thought it's all about just talking to the backend and making SQL requests inside your backend service. But yeah, I got to get hands on it too. You're an iOS dev, but you did some Axum web scraper. Okay, nice. Well, yeah, so it is talking about the backend, but from what I understand, the idea is that it's essentially HTML that you're writing on the back end. You can embed backend code, therefore, inside of the HTML. It's going to go out and do the thing before it sort of renders. So like a pre-step, it goes out and like gets the data from the database. That would be like the SQL. You can run some functions. You can do some other stuff. You can call some APIs. It gets the data. It injects into the middle of the HTML and then renders it into proper HTML and CSS and JavaScript, and then sends it to the front end. So for each request to the server, it's potentially doing that. So we're essentially going back to back-end rendered server-side web applications, which is okay. Like it's very doable. The question is like, is the trade-off for having basically like mixing all of the concerns back up again into like one thing, is that going to cause problems when applications get larger? That one is going to be a little bit tougher to sort of to tell. Because I'm all for like front-end devs learning how to do SQL queries and do all that stuff. Like I think that we all should learn how to do like full stack, even if it's at least just a little bit. This one is like, I have concerns, but I'm willing to test it out. All right, so, oh, and I can see the chat up here. Okay, good. I don't have to like look down like that. All right, so let's see. So we see that. I think that okay, so I'm creating my lowercase search. Now I'm getting input. This is always lowercase search, right? So I don't, what am I doing? Wait a second. No, this is the data table title. Never mind. I'm in the wrong thing. I want to be in here. Oh yeah, that's probably for some lightweight projects for handling state on big scale. It rather won't fit. Well, and that's the thing, is like it could potentially, like back in the days when we split everything out to do like front-end frameworks and do front-end rendering for everything, it was because it was really expensive to scale the back end. And so therefore all the complexity we moved to the front end because, well, it's already scaled, right? Everybody runs on their own. So it's a one-to-one, like it's an end scale problem. And then you're just doing simple CRUD requests to backends, and we can horizontally scale that with incredibly small systems. And then we got horizontal scaling for incredibly small systems, and then the systems got really, really fast even when they're small, because like, you know, CPUs and memory and everything else improved a lot. So maybe now the reason for why we all switched everything to front-end rendering is just not needed anymore. Maybe. This is what I want to see the glue from. Okay, so I want to get rid of you, come to here, and we want to glue search this. That's I look like a one-to-one of your college roommate. Well, hello. I mean, okay, and he showed you Rust. Well, I didn't. Rust wasn't out when I was in college, so I'm I can't be that. Unless he was like, hey, look, here's some Rust on this metal over here. That's cool, right? But I doubt he showed you that, right? Okay, so Aster. Let's take a look at this and see what we got here. No, he would say something like that, so I'm not exonerating myself. Well, dang. Never seen you both in the same room. That is true. That is true. So, I mean, it's very possible. Maybe I was your college roommate. All right, so let's see what we got in here. So if I do, oh, wait, look at that. I type in R. Oh, that's weird. I'm like off by one error almost. So R, I've got empty string. That's not. Okay, so search text. Why am I getting that? It's emitting something out, but it's emitting empty. It's almost emitting the previous thing. So in title, we are getting the correct thing here. So I have the input search text. I set the input search text. I then, I wonder if I should just do this as input search text here. Aster to lowercase that. Oh, C++ master. Okay, so I tried to program C++ on my own without figuring out how to do it like a way long time ago when I was a systems administrator. And I did not really figure it out. But that was before I like learned any programming. I was like, oh yeah, C++ is a thing. Let's try that out. And I was like, oh, I'm gonna go with C. And then I wrote some things in C and like stayed in that realm. You bought a C++ book? Yeah, I had a C and C++ book because I thought, hey, this is gonna work. That's also when I tried Objective-C. And that was also an immediate like, what? No, this is horrible. This is terrible. Rust was fine though. It made you understand low systems instantly. It is kind of funny how like Rust, because it's more of a modern language, they're stealing from all these other high-level languages, and it's like, oh yeah, let's why can't we have a systems language that also is a high-level language and like has all the modern cool things? Let's just combine them together. Why not? And then everything is great. Okay, so if I do this, now what do we get? There we go. Hey, look at that. Okay, so now everything looks appropriate. It's not what I want. Scroll down. So now I can do what's something? We can do U S M. Now I can't do anything like with like a star, like that's not going to work. Okay, so that's great. Now negative is I can't do 10 or something else like that. We're only searching through the name. So we need to figure that part out next too. You had a C++ book and you got to half of it, then you almost dropped programming too complex as a first language. I think, so I've been thinking about this a lot because like I know how to teach programming. Like I spent 3 years teaching people programming from scratch. So I have some knowledge about how it can be done. And I believe that Rust, C++, like all those languages can be a good first programming language, but it takes, you have to be careful, right? We have to make sure that the introduction is proper. There's really good like hands-on teaching, sort of like a good guide to walk through well. Someone who can analogize well, exactly, yes. Somebody who can create analogies, who can make it safe to like freak out and also then just experiment with things. And it's like, hey, I got this weird error. A lot of red is on the screen right now. And you know what? It's okay. It's gonna work. Also just riff with them. Yeah, exactly. Like walk down the thought progression. Yes, and a lot of visualization. So like one of the, when I taught the computer science module, I got the best results when I went up to a whiteboard and like I wrote out all of the like the steps that was happening in memory, like one at a time. And then I made all the students do it. It's like, okay, here's how things are working. Now here's how they're working. Okay, now we're done with the recursion. Let's like, now we're going to rewind. And like, you could almost see the point when they're like, oh my gosh, it works. It's amazing. And then they just get it because they actually like did a physical exercise with it. It is the best feeling. Also, TB Snyder. Hello, how are you doing today? It makes you so happy to see the click. I agree with that. That feeling is the best. In your opinion, the Rust book is a great one, but you still got to know a lot of CS at first. What is it called? There's the triangle of learning. I keep on forgetting the name of the different, Bloom's taxonomy. That's what it is. Bloom's taxonomy. Let me see if I could find a, this is good. So in Bloom's taxonomy, we have this idea of where, like what you can do. So like at the beginning, you have like, all you can do as a student is like, just regurgitate what you're told. So it's like, okay, just type this in and do it. And they don't understand anything about it. They just regurgitate and do it. And then they get some wins and it becomes a little bit more safe and it becomes like, a little bit better to do something. And then we can move on to understanding. And that's where you can now apply, you can do something called transfer and apply the knowledge from like one area to another area. So that's where you give them like an assignment or a test and you're like, hey, I taught you in this format, in this context. Now do the same thing in a different context. That's where you get a lot of people stuck. But then, they just have to go back and forth between here. Then they get understanding. And then that's usually where education ends. And everything else is kind of like, okay, in a community, keep on moving all your way up until you can create something brand new that nobody's ever seen before, that you've just sort of invented yourself. And it's super, super hard to get people to go through it, but it's so important. See if I can scroll this. Can I move this up? I can't. I don't need this to be so big. It's like shows me only 3 lines of chat, which kind of sucks. On this screen up here. Otherwise, the other ones I can get all of them. So let's see. So let's see. I missed. It's like stateful versus stateless. You can learn it with state, but what happens if you're showing a cube with a different face? Yes. I don't have the book in front of me right now, but there's a teaching theory book, which is like, that's how nerdy I am about like education and teaching, that I'm reading like educational theory books. And it talks about this understanding, this idea, which it's really hard to convince anybody who is an educator to want to use the word understand, because it's such a dangerous word. Because it's really hard to define, like, do you understand something? Do you really understand it? What does that mean to understand that? And one way that like you might run into that is, there's a great example. It was like an example of like I don't know, like a 4-year-old or so who's on an airplane for the first time, and they look out the window and they see the land that you're flying over. And they had looked at a globe, and you had shown them, hey, look, like there's the lines, like here's our country, here's our state, here's our city. And then they look out the airplane and they're like, where's the names? Where's the text that shows like where are the lines around the countries? I don't understand it, because they remembered like the facts about like the globe, and they're attempting to transfer, and they're misunderstanding the transfer. And so it's a teachable moment at that point. It's like, oh, okay, you almost got it. Let's try again. You don't know what you don't know. Yes, exactly. It's like you can, how far can you abstract with partial info? Again, yeah, because you may not know what's abstraction versus reality, like the lines or names. And that's exactly why this stuff is so important, because you can create something new if you understand the underlying theories of everything so well that you can take like unrelated tutorials, like almost like I'm curious, like how many of us here can like, or do often use tutorials, but for completely unrelated things, because we're just so used to it, right? Like we so rarely get a tutorial on like some technology in the exact same context that we're trying to use it in, but we're like, oh, it doesn't matter, I understand which parts of this I can pull out, and then I apply just that part to the thing I'm going for. That takes, you have to be all the way up and down the taxonomy to be able to do that. You think of understanding as a puzzle, a small, medium, and a big puzzle where every piece is connected and it clicked. Yeah. You want to tutor again? Do it. Or like, I mean, the best next thing to tutor is like just write an article or do some like, training type thing. All right. In the meantime, we have got this stuff working for the first row, but every other row that we potentially have, every other column we potentially have, we're ignoring. So what's going on with this? So we have search values. Now I was kind of hoping that this was going to go over every value. like every possible value across them all. But I'm guessing not. So hold on, I wanna log this. So I want maybe the prop row. This is gonna be interesting. Can I do prop row like that? Will you let me? Oh, will you let me debug print out the entire hash map? Oh, that's why you're making a poker training thing. Nice. Yeah, so you can get your training sort of like tutoring thing in while also doing something you love. Actually, the project right now is to let people understand the abstractions they already make, like when to call, fold, check, like take their intuitive algorithm and give info to refine it and actually understand what you would do in a stateless scenario. Nice. You know, and that's something you could probably test for pretty easily, right? Because you can just create different scenarios and just say like, okay, there is a correct thing to do here. What is it? And if you don't know what that correct thing is, you have failed to understand. And more instruction is required. Okay, so if I type that R, well, that's cool. You're not acting like format, so we'll have to do that. Format. Interesting. Okay, so all I'm getting is tag name and then courses. So I get that. Oh, there's way more being printed out here. Okay, so here's the two. We get this one and then this one. Okay, that's good. So I'm getting the data for it, but I'm only checking the first one, which is not what I wanted to do. Okay, so I'm getting both them here. Oh, and then I try to get the values here. Am I just checking? Hold on. I think I'm just checking the first row here. Oh, because I'm doing a for loop through it. And I'm doing an early return out of there. I bet, am I only seeing the first one? How is this working? Let's change this to value. So I'm returning true or false, like right away, regardless of whatever I put in. So R, I see both of you, or I see all three of you. Huh. Your background in finance is in finance risk management. So everything to you is just an EV. What are the winnings probabilities? So you just want to reduce the dimensions to just what action reflects the highest ROI on a decision, which means you understand the meta mechanics. Interesting. That sounds fun. I am not good with like sort of analyzing probability type stuff. I usually just I have intuitive stuff for like long-term business type things. For like actual number and hard like gambling type stuff, I am not good with that. So generally I don't do it. Okay, so search file. Okay, so I'm just getting the first one now. I'm curious if I don't. I'm because it goes through. That's why I'm checking the first one. Stacking, hello, how are you doing today? You almost forgot we had the oh, right, the new Mac event for the M3 chips, which is pretty weird that they're announcing the M3 already, but I guess they're gonna do like every other, like an M for Pro and an M for like a different M for Air. I don't know. They're going fast with these though. I'm probably not going to watch it today, so I'll be interested to hear what happened at it. Let's check what we got in here, and if it's contained. Okay, what if we do this? You're false if we don't find anything. If we do find something, we return true. So what does that mean? It's almost like I want to do if the value of stir is all that stuff. So if I want to return true, ret run. Turn true, else do nothing at all and continue on. And that way it breaks early if we found something. Otherwise, maybe that will be better. You watch it, check it out, but you have zero plans to upgrade for the next 5 years. It feels like that way for me too. Unless like there's some insane thing for like programming or something else that I absolutely have to have, which like is so rare for me. I don't think it's happened since like it's like a major chip upgrade, right? I'm now on that upgrade, so it's like there's no reason to switch over unless like did another architecture change. So let's see. If I do Rust, yeah, okay, so now you're doing both, so I can search for R. I can search for you. You see that? I can search for I can search for 10. I can search for 0. Okay. I think we've got it. And then I can do like UST. That works. Okay. I think we've got search working now. And let's see, if I do that, that does not work. Okay, so that's because I'm doing on search for this, which, Oh, I probably want to move this into a use effect with dependencies. That's probably what I need to do, is switch this from a use effect. So that way, because this is when it... Oh, wait a second. And title on clear. I just set the text to be nothing. I could emit out on search with nothing, that actually might make sense. So here we have on search. So what if we do another on search? So now we should be able to search for like you, and then bam, we're back to good. Okay, now I think we're good with search. I need to get rid of that log. Okay, I'm happy with this. This looks good. So, let's see. Next up, let's commit this. This is a pretty big, this is a beefy feature, so I kind of want to commit as we're going on. All right, so what do we got here? We've got we are able to search, clear search, able to search all fields, so all values. Okay. So there's that. Then next up, I would like to be able to click on like something in here to sort by it. Oh, the other thing is I want to be able to have a little bit of functionality. So probably something like the equivalent of a slot in Vue. That would be really nice. I think we can do that. I wonder how hard that would be. Oh, right now it just takes attribute value, and I don't think I can do that. So maybe there's a way for me to, maybe I have to update the table to have like a table action on it. Like I can add in a checkbox or something. That maybe we should do that that functionality first. So I want, like, the entire point for this is as a creator, as a course creator, I want to be able to, when I'm manipulating the articles for a course, to be able to view which ones are preview and then mark which ones are preview for that course. So that way, you know, they're accessible by anyone. Which means I want something like the name of the course. I want to have like drag and drop for reordering. So that's another thing altogether. And I want like a checkbox that I could set that's obviously going to emit out that something was checked. I wonder if that's going to be, I mean, to me, it feels like that should be a slot. Let's experiment with slots. Now, there's no like official slot in Yew, but we can take in a component and drop it in there. So if I go into a table, so right now I have values as just an attribute value, but an attribute value I can't like pass in as like a component, because that's what I really need to do. I need to pass in like a checkbox component, which kind of sucks. So I could take in an enum instead that has something like, okay, it's enum, it's basically it's an attribute value, or it's a child, or it's a checkbox, or it's something like that, and just have like types that I could put in. Or I could try, I could do children for each one and like have like an add-on to the table, like checkboxes. So I could do like, what if I did like add checkbox or something? So, and that was like a Boolean, let's say. And just to make sure this doesn't break anything. And then in here, so here's our table head, table rows, then I'm gonna add in, so for each table row, we're gonna iterate through here, and then I also wanna add in a TD. We're gonna do TD, and then I wanted to put in like a checkbox. Maybe checkbox. Import you. Okay, you need an ID. So let's just play around with this. So we do ID is test. That's obviously not going to work in a real scenario, but we're in testing mode. You need a label. Test. Name. Test. Value. Test. So that shows up here all, it shows up everywhere here. So I could potentially do something where I say, okay, if I have a checkbox, if I want a checkbox, it just adds on here. Now, when I check it, I want to emit out that that specific row was checked. So I could handle that. That's going to be more difficult. But so this is one way to do it. Another way is I could, okay, so how does it work? It's been a while since I did the slot system for like a data table in Vue. But if I remember correctly, it was a slot that ran for every loop. So I provided code and it ran within every loop, and then they handed me, so it was like a function that generated the code, and they handed me each row essentially. I got to add to it. Okay. So what if I, for this other TD, Xanax, hello. How are you doing today? Okay, so if I want to call in, so it would be something like this, where I'm going to call in a child function and do something about it. Good, about to finish your shift. Awesome. Hopefully your workday has been pretty good. Okay. So if I want a slot that's going to go in for every single thing, yes, we're playing around with Restream today, so we're live on Twitch and on YouTube at the same exact time. Okay, so we have all of you. Okay, how do I call in like a child? So I want some kind of child thing that's going to run inside of here. I don't think I can call like a callback function inside of here. That would be like me emitting out and it doing something. But I probably do want some kind of logic, right? Let me see how I would what do I have access to? I have the prop set values. Do I have the title? I do. So I have the title right here. Oh, but that's just inside of this map. Which is collecting the HTML. And that's across, that's like for the row. So if we want to add in another one. No, it's not for the row. It's for each column in the row. So it's for a row, for a column. Yeah. I'm going to have to do this twice. Okay. I want to see, can I take in a function and then run that function in this component here? So let's imagine that I want like some kind of closure for BB table, like the table itself. And I want to say like let's call it like a row slot. And I wonder if I could do something like we're gonna have a thing, and I just want to glue console log the thing. Property value must be literal or closed in braces. Okay, so I need to, oh, right. Braces. Oh, I forgot to match surround. Okay, so now you're going to tell me that this doesn't, okay, so row slot. I'm going to create a row slot. And this is on a table. Which you're going to be something. And you're going to yell at me saying, hey, it takes nothing and it's not implemented for closure. What's a close, like what would the closure be? I don't think there's like a closure type, right? So I'm going to have to do, oh. Can I do that? A closure that I put an attribute value? Oh, it would be the entire thing. So it would be like, well, here, let's ignore it. Let's just do that for right now. Oh, I can't do that. Okay. But I could create a type. I can create a struct for this. And then that would work. Can you hack time when you have a private jet? I mean, yes, but probably not in a way that you think. I believe that you can slow yourself down by milliseconds or nanoseconds, as long as you're moving as fast as you can. And it doesn't matter if you're which direction you're moving, you're saving time that way. And the faster you go, the more time you save. Of course, you still experience time normally. So unfortunately, you don't save any time, but when you land, everybody else has like it's later. It's later compared to what you've experienced. So I guess that, yeah, that's time travel, right? Okay, so can I do something like specific here? Like can I say, like, let's say attribute value. Binary operation. Okay, how about string? You can usually do that with string, right? Is it the closure? The closure itself, I can't do it. So I need, that's the problem, isn't it? You can hack sunlight, right? I don't think sunlight will help, right? Like, you can get a lot more vitamin D. You can make yourself think that it's always nighttime. Something like that would work, right? Okay, so closure doesn't implement that. Is there anything that docks? It's like they're callbacks, but that's the other way. Oh, passing callbacks as props. Oh, okay, maybe this is what I want. Now, can I get... No, because this emits out. So this is not the type of callback that... Ah! Sorry about that. Like every device I had decided to ring a phone. I'll deal with that later. So let's see. Was that the callback? Yeah, probably. Probably. Karayan? Hello. How are you doing today? Ooh, you know what? I should mark myself in focus mode. And then that way, if they try to call back, I should be okay. Dota, hello. Don't call the callback. Yeah, I don't think I want to call back. So this is emit out, but I don't think I can get the return. I can't get the result of this, can I? I've been here for years. Of course, yeah. Yeah, I've been here the entire time. We could create a hook for, well, no, a hook won't work either. Don't worry, Donut. I won't call it that. Okay, so yeah, so we have children. This, as far as I can tell, past data is props that calls a re-render, so that's fine, but okay, there's the derive macro for like, or default, something like that, blah, blah, blah. They don't tell me it's a bad idea to do this. Maybe it's under advanced topics. No, this is going to be like typed children, that kind of stuff. Portals provide a first-class way to render children into a DOM node that exists outside the DOM hierarchy of the parent component. I don't think this is what I want. I don't think Portal's what I want. It's for modals. That's what I figured. It's like for something like modals are perfect for that, right? Because it's outside, or like any kind of floating anything. So if can I do a function? So instead of a closure, can I take an fn? Oh, can I do it like an fn once? So let's say we do fn once. Now you need a type, right? Using generics, okay. Let's just do a string right now. That's as simple as we can get. Well, a static string might be simpler, or like an integer, but the value of the associated type output. Oh, right. I have to tell it takes in a string and it's going to return, let's say, HTML. Wait, did I do this wrong? Hold on, what am I supposed to do? Oh, inside of here. So it's output equals HTML. No, okay. You want to use not this notation. So use parenthetical notation instead. So it'd be HTML. But now you're upset. Oh, wait, do I need like that? Syntax error, expected field declaration, expected comma. I don't have to put like dine in here, right? No, like why are you upset? Oh, do I need like that? No, you don't like that. Expected a comma. So I'm not allowed to do this inside of structs, am I? Do I have to like box this up or something? Let's see. Let's turn to good old. We'll try Google first, and or DuckDuckGo first, and then we'll try. Then we could try one of the AI chats if I can't figure that out. So this will be Rust function in struct field. So that's, it's not the same thing. I don't, well, Rust by example might have something, but that's not what I want. I want them in there. These are these functions and methods in there. So I want this in structs. Wait, do you not have structs? Ooh, there, okay. Neat. Oh, I have no idea how to pronounce your username. Sorry, Nink. That's as good as I can give right now. Sorry about that, but hello, how are you doing today? Yeah, none of these are functions. Functions, sort of nuts, not modular. I think it would be under generics. Can I pass it an instance of a can I pass it an instance of a struct that has a method on it? So let's imagine that I just put in here like a pub struct row slot. And we put in like the title is going to be an attribute value. The value is going to be an, oh, it would probably be values, right? So we get all the values, so we see what those are. Well, let's just start with like, we just get the title. That's all we care about then. What if I don't even begin with those? What if I just start with like, you're just you're just that. We're going to build this up slowly. So you're going to yell at me because you need to be partially cool. Okay. So you're gonna be fine. So then we're gonna come over here. We're gonna make you happy. So row slot. So let row slot. Row slot. Okay. So you're still unhappy. Because I did a bunch of stuff here. So we'll come back to this later. You're still unhappy. Because of what? EB table has, oh, row slot. Oh, you need row slot too. Okay, hold on. Hold on. We are going to make that not required. So our default, throw a default on here too. Okay, everything compiles. We're in a good state. So I want to be able to pass in something to row slot and have it do something based upon this. So what if down here I need to implement, oh, so if I want to take in a row slot and then allow the parent to have a function that works on it, I need to make sure that it's a trait-based thing. So I don't create a row slot, I create a trait row slot. Which then you need to import. How do I? Ooh, we did this a while back, and I keep on forgetting how to do it. I need to set up this trait so that it only works on something that implements partial equal. So first of all, you're going to be something that impulse row slot. It's not impl, right? It's dyn. You're probably going to be boxed up. Okay, so then properties. The size must be known. Okay. Although I could say that you must be that plus static. Can I say, oh, I need to, okay, we need to go and remember how to do this. Can you tell us traits? So it's not any of these. So it's not, okay. Not gonna worry about the derive stuff. Don't think I need to worry about overloading. Oh, but implementing student also requires you to implement person. So I could do that style. So I could do that must be static. Okay, what else do we need? Sized. Okay, so it also needs to be sized. So let's see. Plus sized. Plus partial equal. trait row slot cannot be made into an object. Ugh. Do I have to box this? Oh, why can't it be made into a Oh, do I want like sync and send instead of sized? Oh wait, is it partial equal? Is that what it? It needs to allow building a V table to allow. Oh, so wait a second. So now at this point, binary operation cannot be applied to type box, die, and row slot. Okay. But if I do this, remove the box, your big problem is now die and row slot plus data cannot be known at so size, but I wonder if I can do send and sync. Would that make it happier? No, okay, so the size still, okay, so it needs to know that. I'm curious what this alias question mark is. So once I do that, then everything else breaks. The size value is still, oh, it still isn't known. Cannot be known. Okay. Now, if I try to box this up, now it's cannot be made into an object. Oh, I remember we fixed this a long time ago and I forget what we did. Do I also have to plus default that because I have that or default? No. It's the size thing. I don't think I need like to put properties on it. Ooh. Attribute value. What makes you work? Implicit clone, unsync, and then an I string. Can I set that to like be a different type? A library that introduced the marker trait implicit clone, which allows reproducing the behavior of the trait copy, but calls the clone implementation instead and must be implemented in the host library. Okay, and then unsync. Single-threaded version of immutable types. So if I try to create my own type for this, it probably would not be happy. So hold on. Let's again, that won't solve it for us because I want a method that we call on the parent to then actually execute and pass its stuff into the child. So I need to like pass in something. Now, if I don't think I tried boxing a function. So if I try like a boxing an fn, let's say once. Let's try this. So if I passed in an attribute value up and we got HTML back. Do we need to like dyn that? No, you just don't like this format. Even though when I tried the other way, it yelled at me that I needed to do the thin arrow. What do you have to say for yourself? Yeah, same thing. Expected one of like the commas and all the fun stuff. So, oh wait, no, I'm not seeing anything else. So if I just do that, you're gonna yell at me for, hey, you need to the output must be set for it. Treat objects must be included with dyn. So okay, if I do dyn, I need to do the output of it. I could do the output of like this type, right? Where I can say output equals, let's say, I don't know, another attribute value. But use parenthetical notation instead. So fn once attribute value. Oh, wait, have I just been doing that the wrong time? Stacking, I see your link. I will look at it right after I try this. Was I supposed to do this? I just was messing it up. Attribute value. Okay, cannot be put in a box. So what if I don't dyn or box it? Okay, fine. The size for type cannot be known at compilation time. Oh, I was hoping that fn once would give me that. Oh, that's too bad. Okay, let's take a look at the Stack Overflow. How do I store a closure in a struct in Rust? This is from back in 2019. So we have an unboxed closure. So, okay, they use a generic. That actually might work. Okay, let's try the generic first, then we'll look at the other one. So if I use this is gonna be a row slot generic where row slot oh, I have to do this. Where row slots, is it colon or equal? I think it's equal, right? No, it's colon. Is a function once attribute value, attribute value. Okay, we got a little bit farther. Now you're yelling at me because missing generics. Okay, so let's fix you up. I probably need the same breakdown, right? So we're gonna have to throw in and then props of row slot. Okay, what are you upset about? Can't compare row slot with row slot, so I need to implement plus partial equal. That's not happy. Okay. Okay, back to this. The trait bound row slot default isn't. Oh, I don't want necessarily a default here, do I? Let's try. I don't want to require it, so we're going to do a prop or else. For a prop or else, I want to now return. Okay, so we're going to take in. Oh no, we're down here. We're going to return a thing, and I'll return nothing, an attribute value from. I wonder if I should take an option. Oh, this is prop or else. Mismatch types. Expected type parameter, row slot, found closure. Oh, so it can't be closed. Isn't there a way for me to do a function as a closure? I vaguely remember that from the book, but it's been years. Like closure, like function types. Yeah, okay, so fn once, fn and fn moot would take a closure, wouldn't it? Oh, but I want to use no, wait, maybe? So function okay, takes a I guess I could do it in fn instead of function once just to play around with it. And then mismatch types, expected type parameter, row slot. I wonder if and then, so instead of proper else, what if I just make this, can I put this instead of an option? Okay, okay. So, you're upset? There's no more row type. There's no more row type. You're missing generics for this. Okay. So BB table now needs generics every time we use it, even if we don't use it. Okay. You had to go flip the dinner, and the rewind feature in YouTube came in clutch already. That is a nice thing about YouTube, the streaming, is that you can go backwards. You know, I found when I was setting up the YouTube stream for today, you can turn that off. Like, that's actually a toggleable option as a streamer, which I don't know why you would ever want to, but hey, it's an option. Okay, so I'm pretty sure that I can take in, can I do something like that? No, you need to be, base component is not satisfied. It needs to be something that implements row slot, right? Oh no, it's not implements row slot. It needs to be a closure. So I wonder if I can do something like fn attribute value expected a comma. Still expected a comma. So this would be the type, right? Why are you expecting a comma here? That's not gonna work with anything. You're gonna fail. Expected a comma. No. Okay. Okay, so we have, let's see. I don't need to actually pass it in for it to work, right? We could try creating the function and just sort of like seeing what happens. So if I have like a function, like let's just test this out. So like this is going to be a the checkbox slot. Oh, we could actually do this as like a as a callback, right? So let, oh wait, this is gonna have to be inside of here. Let our test is gonna be equal to, you take in a value, which is an attribute value, and you return, so let's just return the value straight like that. Now I can't say, why are you upset now? I semicoloned you, right? Okay. You're back to not being upset again. I can't like pass in test as like, hey, it's this thing. And then row slot equals test. You're not going to be happy with that, right? And I can't put in like, hey, test this, because like that's the thing, right? I can't say something like, hey, test. Like that's what goes in here. That's not going to make any sense. Expected of, yeah. Attempt to use a non-constant value in a constant non-constant value. Cool. Yeah, so that makes sense. I can't do that. So you're going to say, okay, missing generics. So add missing generic argument row slot. So I want a, like if I do that, you're going to yell at me because that's not the right generic. No function or associated item new exists for that. Expected a function iString found closure found that, okay. So if I do an fn attribute value, return attribute value, it's just back to this again. Okay, so we could try the box method. I almost feel like we shouldn't need it. So let's see, what else can we try? We might as well try the box method. So let's come here. So we have the F where you do that thing. I wonder if it's expecting the comma because it's like thinking there's a where statement there. But you can't do that in HTML. Oh, it's probably something to do with the macro. I wonder if the macro is trying to do something weird with it. The box would be the exact same thing, right? So it's just box, but with a dyn fn, and that's it. But that doesn't need a generic. Ooh, so that might make it better. So instead of a generic, this would just be saying, okay, we have an option, box, dyn, fn. Let's start with, we take in nothing, and we return nothing. We don't have generics. Binary operation cannot be applied to that though. That's the problem. That's the can I do a plus in here? I doubt I can. Only auto traits can be part of this. Okay. That's not working. Okay, I might have to think about a different way of handling this type of logic then. And how to get, well, I guess like I think what we'll need to do is I'll need to just sort of like let this percolate through my brain subconsciously, and then maybe tomorrow morning we'll figure out something else to do, because I don't think I'm going to be able to put a function in here and use that. And I don't remember, although I could be wrong, seeing in like the Yew Discord people doing this. I don't think that there's like any kind of slot documentation method in here, so I don't think I can like search for slot. Yeah. What is it called? It's I'm not sure what to like even search for to find this. Because these are all of these are not helpful because they don't go into what I want to do. I wonder if I use the props macro, it could do something for me. So instead of doing this here, like imagine that we didn't have this. So we comment you out. We don't have you. Instead we do like let our props equals, what is it? It's just props. Props, and then, oh, we still need the props. Oh. We still need to create like a struct. And that's our problem. So I would still need this. Props would be, so that still needs to implement properties and partial equal. So we still need this. The partial equal is the thing that's really getting us. I don't want to have to like put this, I don't want my library to have to be aware of like code and like go like reach in somewhere and grab it. That sucks a lot. So, all right. I think we're going to undo everything we did here. I probably could have just... Have I saved it? Oh, I have saved this, so... Well, I probably could have just get reverted. That would have been fine too. Okay, so save you. Buffer close. I want to, is there like a revert? I want to undo, is there like a get? No, there's... it's not really anything there that I see. It's nothing that I see from like Git stuff. So I think quit. Now, the only change was in that data table, and we had already committed the previous thing, which was getting search working. So I think I can just do a git restore. And we're good to go. So I'll go ahead and push these changes up. And then I will think about different, or rather I'll let myself subconsciously think about it, because I probably won't consciously think too much about it. And then tomorrow morning, we'll see if after sleeping, I have some ideas. Otherwise, I might end up going with like something else. Like, I don't know. We're gonna have to figure something out. So I'm gonna think about it. Then that'll be it. I'm gonna keep on trying the Restream thing. So I will be back online here tomorrow morning at let's see. Let's put on the closing. I'll be back tomorrow morning at 7 a.m. Mountain Time at both Twitch and YouTube, and we'll keep on trying out this Restream thing for all week. See how it goes. So with that, thank you everybody for hanging out today. Thank you if you're here on YouTube, or if you're here on Twitch. Awesome to have you here, regardless of what platform you're on. And I hope that you all have a great rest of your days. And we'll see you next time. Bye.